Yo, YouTube, what up? Game Dogs RC back with another one. Today we got something a little bit different. Before I start, I just want to say I know a few of my videos be kind of like feeling like filler. This one might feel like a little bit. The reason why I'm not doing a whole lot of driving right now is because it's like literally 20 degrees where I live at every day. It's cold. It's like super cold. And I know that makes the plastics real brittle on a lot of your cars. So I just don't feel like breaking any of my cars right now. So I haven't really been doing a whole lot of driving. But today, this is what I got for y'all. Basically, I'm going to show y'all all the cars that my little brother and I used to own from Tyco back in the 90s growing up. So I found a website. Now, what I was going to do was put a montage together, but I figured it'd just be easier to show you guys on the website because it'll save you time in the viewer watch and it'll save me time of having to edit everything. So we going to let's go check out Tyco Collectors. Tyco Collectors. I found this website after some research trying to figure out where I can see all the old cars that I used to have and my little brother. All right, so this is the website where you can go see a lot of the old vintage Tyco and Teo cars. I didn't really have any Teos. We had Tyco. Now, before I start, I understand Tyco was toy grade back then, but they were 9.6 volt turbo, so 9.6 V is pretty much 2S. They were like one cell batteries, you know. These are like what the batteries used to look like, you know, typical nickel metal hydrides. But these in the 90s were like lipos today. Okay, so like a lot of kits from like the 90s with Traxxas, even though they had RTRs, but a lot of the kits had brush motors. That's why nitros were more popular back in them days, because brush motors were extremely slow. Like these cars will outrun hobby grades from when I was a kid. So Tyco was the stuff. And even if you see these run today, like this Fast Track, this is one of the fastest Tycos out there. This thing can actually run pretty fast, up to about 40 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour with hobby grade cars these days on this pack. So they're not slouches by a long shot. So I'm gonna show y'all which ones that I used to own, and because my little brother basically used to have pretty much what I had, but not the earlier years because I'm 4 years older than him. So let's go down to Tyco. Let's find all the 9.6 V packs because that's basically what I had. Okay, now they got them in the dates. So I'm going to be honest. My first RC car that I can remember, like from Tyco, was the 92 Bandit, was this car. And I had the black one. My little brother had the red one. Or like he had the black one or I had the red one. I can't remember what colors we had, but because we both used to drive both of them. Like we'll basically swap colors. But my little brother and I also had this. He was only 2 years old, but he got one and didn't know what to do with it till he was old enough. But he always had a Bandit alongside me. I got this car when I was like 6 years old. It came out when I was like 6. I remember my grandfather buying me other RC cars and like my uncle, but they were just, I was so young, I don't remember them. And I remember my uncle, my father's brother, used to drive a lot of Radio Shack RC cars. Like my uncle was mainly the one that used to buy me all my RCs every year for my birthday. And my little brother too. But like a lot of times in my family, you know, if I got something, my little brother would get it because it wasn't no favoritism. But you know, we weren't spoiled or nothing. It was just typical normal kid stuff. But I remember my uncle having large Radio Shack cars. He used to be the king of Radio Shack cars. He basically got me my first RC. So this is the first one that I do remember us having, is this Tyco Bandit. 9.6 V. I remember that controller. And the reason why I remember it is because the Baja Bandit we didn't have the Baja Bandit, which was a solid color. This one came in 2 different colors and it had this crazy looking paint scheme on it. And that's how I can remember I did have the black one, because that paint scheme, that was like a 90s thing. Like, if you know about the 90s, pink and that green with black and white and this yellow, all these bright little neon type colors leaving out of the 80s was still kind of popular. So this was the first Tyco car that I had as a kid, was the 92 Tyco Bandit. Alright, so let's go back. Okay, the next one that I had was my 93, which one was it? It was the one that had like you slap the motor on the back of it to give you extra power. I gotta figure out which one that was. I forgot the name of it. Was it the Turbo Bandit? I forgot. Okay, so we'll find it later, okay? Because the next one that I had was, are they in order by date? Okay, I remember I had this one, the 1994 Tyco Rampage 6x6. Now, my little brother didn't have this car. I had this one. He ended up getting another car. I'll have to go and look at it. I forgot which one he got during this year. But the reason why I'll never forget this Tyco Rampage 6x6 is because it was after the Scorcher. This one was very fast and it used to spin like a top. Okay, and you had the up, down. So if I was driving this car, if I wanted to go straight, you got to push both of these up at the same time. If I want to make a right turn, you have to let go of the right one. So you got to hold up on the left to keep the left wheel spinning, and it'll force it to go right and opposite. So if you wanted to turn left, you have to let go of the left stick and push the right one forward, and the same with backwards. So it was weird kind of turning, but once you learn how to drive with the forward and back, it wasn't nothing. And a lot of Tyco cars came like that with the forward and back, but I'll never forget this car. This one stuck with me all through my childhood. I had this car up to like 2000 when I was a teenager. It stayed with me the longest. I think I might have gave it to like one of my little cousins or something. I got too old for it, but I kind of kick myself in the butt nowadays that I've gotten back in the hobby, and I never kept all my old Tycos. Like, we had a lot of these cars. So I remember I had this one. I need to find the one that had the motor on the back, because it was before this one. It came out before this one. I had two of them before that. I had the Bandit, and where's the other one? Let me see if they have it on here. Oh, I remember which one it is. It was the Tyco Outlaw. Yep, that's what I had, because the Outlaw came out in 93. So see this, I used to literally get a Tyco every year for my birthday. So from like 92, I had the Bandit. My little brother had one. He was too young to really know how to drive it at the time though. And then 93, the Outlaw came out, where it was bland until you had this extra motor. When you put it was fast, but when you put the motor on the back of the truck bed, it gave it all the rest of the power, and it was pretty fast. Let me see if I can type Outlaw, because I remember that one came out in 93. So we'll go all items. That way it should pop. There it go. So 92. Yep. I was wrong. 92. But I remember I had this truck too. I remember I had this one too. I might have got it in 93 though. It was the year after it came out. Because I remember I had the Bandit first, but I had this Outlaw. I'll never forget this truck because of that motor. Like, that's how they advertised this truck. You basically it came with this extra motor, and when you slap that thing in the back and hook it in, man, it gave this truck so much more power. I'll never forget this truck, the Tyco Outlaw. Extremely small wheels, but as y'all can see, so the Rampage had the double ups because it got 6x6, but this is how all Tyco controls used to come: forward and back in the steering, simple, on and off. I'll never forget this truck though. 4 AA's in the bottom of the truck. It didn't take the 9.6 speed pack. Okay, so any of the 9.6 volts were a little bit faster than the battery powers. Then, as you know, on all older cars, this is where the new cheap Amazon cars get their steering trim from. This is steering trim on the old cars. You had a little plastic lever, and when you twist it with your finger, it'll turn your steering trim all the way to the right or left. So if you wanted to just sit there and do donuts and spin out, that's how you would do it. You would turn your steering trim all the way to the right or the left, and then just constantly spin as you hit the trigger. But it was a pain because you had to literally flip the car back over and straighten the trim back out by hand in order to make it drive right again. But I'll never forget, I had this Tyco Outlaw also because of that motor. This engine was like an extra block. You slap it in the back, it boosts all the power. Okay. But most of mine were 9.6 V packs. So most of mine were 9.6 packs. Okay. So after that, my little brother in 1995 or 6, I think, he ended up getting this. He got this Fast Tracks. I never owned the Fast Tracks. My little brother had this car. He had the Tyco Fast Tracks. And that was one thing about this car. This was Tyco's fastest car. Nothing was outrunning this. No, to this day, it's no Tyco car that's faster than the Fast Tracks. This damn car was extremely fast, like 27 megahertz remote, and it's like the 6x6. It has the same type of control. But these tracks on concrete, bro, listen, if y'all never seen a snowmobile drag race on the concrete on that track, go check it out on YouTube. Some snowmobiles have motorcycle engines, so it's like riding a sport bike. It's like riding a jet. It's like riding a jigsaw on the snow. I'm sorry, my mic just muted out. But basically, snowmobiles drag race really fast on concrete. So imagine the tracks. The Fast Tracks was the fastest Tyco car. And as you see, it had the same up and down turn style steering like the Rampage 6x6. But this car, I was still driving my Rampage around the time my little brother got this car. I think in 96, I didn't get a car because we both got the Nintendo 64, but I was more playing my James Bond. I wasn't really worried about RCing at that time. My little brother wanted this car. He ended up getting this Fast Tracks. I remember it. I'll never forget this truck. And he had this same color. He had the red one. I'll never forget. So the 96 Tyco Fast Tracks, my little brother owned that one. Okay. Now, after that, because I pretty much, this Tyco Rampage for me pretty much held me all through the 90s. My little brother got this Fast Tracks that held him pretty much through the 90s. Let me make sure I'm not missing any, because I'm just not randomly picking out vehicles. I'm trying to show y'all, like, okay, now, I definitely remember owning this one. This is what I got in 1999. So I got the let's see, was it a power pack? No, those were the oval track races. Okay. Tyco Extreme Cycle. I'll never forget it. I got this Christmas of 1999. And this was like my last Tyco that I ever got. See. Tyco Extreme Cycle. Okay, well, we'll just put Cycle on there. Okay, now, before I go, I gotta remember my little brother, he got a motorcycle too. Where's that yellow motorcycle? Because he had a yellow motorcycle. He definitely had a yellow motorcycle. I remember back then. Where is that motorcycle? Sorry about the mishaps. Cause like at one point in the mid 90s, my little brother was going crazy with Tycos too. He used to love these cars. Where is that yellow cycle? I forgot the name of it. I keep forgetting the name of these vehicles. It's been so long. Like, this is stuff from the 90s when I was a kid. This one. Because he got it the same year. But he got this one the next year. He got this one in 97. The year after his fast tracks, he got this one. The Tyco Samurai. I never forget this either. Because I had a hiatus. Like, the Rampage 6x6 and the fast tracks were two very fast cars. Like, once I had the Rampage, I didn't really need another RC car. They were really fast. But my little brother, I definitely remember him and my cousin. My little brother got this one because my older cousin had bought one. And my little brother ended up wanting one of these. So I remember he had this particular motorcycle, the Tyco Samurai. But this is a lot of what the RC world is missing. Like, people tend to forget about Tyco vehicles. They weren't slouches. Everything was 6 to 9.6 volts. So 11.1 volts is a 3S battery. So these cars were not slouches in the 90s. Like, they will literally outrun Traxxas RTRs. These cars were better than Traxxas RTRs back then because brushed motors were trash. Like, those cars weren't doing more than 12 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour until you really got on them. But bone stock out the box, they could barely outrun Tycos. So, but the last one I had, we're going to end this video because it's been kind of long. I didn't even know I was on here for 15 freaking minutes. Because I seen it on the last one. Hold up, I just seen it. I definitely find it before we get up off of here. Let me just put cycle. And there it is. So this is the Losi Pro Moto before the Losi Pro Moto. As y'all seen on the thumbnail, this is the last RC car that I got from Tyco. This was Christmas of 1999. So I was like 13. You know what I'm saying? So it showed you like it didn't really matter. You know, I knew about hobby grade stuff too, but we were on Tyco RC as a kid. Like, it was just much easier to deal with, and that's just what it was. But this was the last one that I had. And to be honest, this little bike took some skill to learn how to drive because it didn't have the little bars that are on the Losi Pro Moto. Like, it literally, you had to learn how to find the balance point on this thing. And it wasn't that easy. I had the Jeremy McGrath one. The next year they had came out with this was the Yamaha, Team Yamaha, Jeremy McGrath Chaparral. But next year they ended up having a Ricky Carmichael yellow Suzuki. So, yeah, so as y'all may see in my last Red Cat unboxing, and what I'm gonna show y'all in the next video is that, you know, I was always on dirt bikes and four-wheelers. I liked that stuff as a kid coming up. Like, so this were a lot of the influence, but I'm not new to RCs. This is just another one from Game Dog RC.